a bit of a different art video from what I usually post, and you've probably figured out why just looking at the title and thumbnail. Because for this video, I reached out to fellow art YouTuber Naiomi, and I was just like, hey, a collab sounds fun, what do you think? And they were just like... So yeah, good to have you on the channel, Naiomi.
Hey Mirror, thanks for having me. So what are we doing today?
Today we're doing a random character design challenge. Naiomi's going to be giving me a bunch of prompts from several random generator websites. They'll be giving me a setting, job, personality and colour scheme, and I'm going to have to make a character design with what they give me. So let's see what the random numbers have to say, huh? Take it away!
Okay, so for your prompts we have Man Against the World in the setting of a fairy tale. When it comes to personality, they are creative but they might not finish what they start and are often unfocused. But this is often forgiven because they are so enthusiastic and resourceful. When it comes to their social attitude, they enjoy outdoing others and are very outspoken. With this, they are very blunt and have a neutral emotional capacity. Currently, their emotional state is very lonely. When it comes to their job, they are actually a reporter, and they have this color scheme right here. Feel free to alter the shades if you'd like, but I'd like to see the same vibes.
Alright then, thanks for the prompts. I'll see what I can do with these. I've also got my own set of prompts to give Naiomi, but if you want to see how that went down, you'll have to go watch the other video on their channel. But don't leave just yet, because I still have a character to design. Let's go! So I had a bit of a change of plans with this character design. Looking at the personality that Naiomi gave me to work with, there's a lot to unpack. When I first saw the Man Against the World genre, that was giving me some pretty edgy vibes right out the gate. But then with the Fairytale setting and the pink and the colour scheme, I thought I could contrast that with a cute and colourful aesthetic. And then I looked a bit closer into personality, and that's where it hit me. Creative, enthusiastic, dislikes being alone, unfocused and may not finish on what they start, that to me just screams ADHD. And hey, I have ADHD, so who am I to pass on this opportunity? So going into the art, my first idea was to make a kind of professional, suited up adult character. I figured that look might be fitting for a reporter character. Though after a while, I decided to make him a teenager instead. When it came to designing the outfit, I wanted to lean into the whole fairytale setting and take inspiration from some classical fairytale characters, most notably Little Red Riding Hood. I wanted to give him a hooded cloak over this waistcoat looking thing. I didn't really know what to call it. I added red ribbons to sell the cute fairytale look better, and I gave the character shorts because, well, that's something I haven't drawn too much of in this channel. That, and they fit the image I was going for, of course. Now that the design is down, I decided I wanted to go for more of an adventurous pose than usual. So I looked up a pose reference and took some time to translate it into the character's proportions. Proper action poses aren't something I've drawn a lot of, but I'm eager to try them out more, and I do like how this pose turned out in the end. Honestly, I think the hardest part of this pose was trying to get the right shape down for the cape. Well, that, and trying to figure out the length and angle of the raised leg. Like I said with my human Meta Knight design, I think I need to put more work into foreshortening. Looking back, the raised leg in the reference picture was kind of curved in motion. I think next time I'll have to study my reference pictures more carefully if I'm having trouble with part of the pose. But anyway, while we finish the sketch and line art, I'll talk a bit more about my ideas for this character. I'm imagining his world as a kind of magical fantasy land with plenty of characters inspired by old-timey fairy tales. So we've got giants living in cloud castles atop beanstalks, bears in the porridge industry, wolves causing demolition problems for a poor family of pigs. Okay, but like I do want to go against stereotypes and have a big bad wolf who isn't evil, but moving on. I'm imagining that the ruler of this land was somebody like Sleeping Beauty, or the miller's daughter from Rumpelstiltskin, but stuff has gone south after their respective antagonists decided to mess things up. Now the villain's in the throne, but they've convinced the populace that all is good and fine with the kingdom, something that our reporter boy doesn't buy for a second. So off he goes on his quest to uncover the truth, in a land where nobody believes him. So that's all I've really got for his story ideas. But when it comes to what this character can do, he's mostly a reporter and investigator sort. Though he does have a bit of magic on his side, through that little wand he carries. I wanted to give the wand that shape so it could be his reporter's microphone, and I like to imagine it's able to record sound and play it back later. But he can also use it to cast some spells. Maybe he picks up magic tricks from all the people he meets along the way? Who knows? And of course, when it comes to personality, Naomi's prompt gives us a lot to work with. He's an eager and adventurous sort, kind of competitive, but also pretty prone to losing focus. I imagine he's still determined with his end goal of uncovering the truth, but for anything else, he might not pay as much attention. He is also a brutally honest sort, the kind of guy who tells things exactly as they are. But that's enough about his character for now. The next part of the Speedpaint is the colour palette, and this was definitely the most fun part of the challenge. Working with a palette that's already been decided for you isn't something I've done much, but I definitely think I want to do it again in the future. Usually when I'm drawing a character's colour palette, I try to focus on a specific colour scheme for the character. Like with Flynn Rainridge, an OC I redesigned in a previous video. His outfit is mostly blue and black, with some teals and browns. Though this time around, I had to work with a much more varied set of colours. Thankfully, Naomi and I did agree that we were allowed to use slightly different shades to suit our needs. So I started by making the cloak red, to match with Little Red Riding Hood, and I made his hair pink because I thought it was a cute colour. I used dark blue for most of his outfit, though I made the undershirt light pink and the ribbons red. For the boots I used a very different shade of red, with a navy band for an extra pop of colour. And then I used the cyan for his eyes, as well as the cape. I also used shades of cyan for the wand and the glasses. I think the hardest colour to implement was the black. It had a slight greenish tint to it, so I thought I could play around with the shades to get a greenish grey. But here's the thing, this design already has 4 major colours competing for your attention, and while red and pink work well, as do cyan and blue, greyish green feels really out of place with those other colours. In the end, I decided to stick to the almost black shade, which I just used for the fingerless gloves and the rim of the glasses. And once the colours were done, it was off to the shading. I went for something kind of soft, starting with regular cell shading but blurring out the edges. Now I did decide to spice things up later on, by having both the shadows and the lighting be two-toned. So I added a darker rim to the edge of each shadow, and I'd make the lights brighter at their centre, just some stuff to make it more interesting to look at. On the whole, I like how the shading turned out, but I don't think I chose the right line art to go with it. It's not too different from the shading I gave Corin in my subscriber special, but the reason why that shading worked was because it was complemented by the coloured line work. Meanwhile, this piece has more of my usual line art, where it's mostly black. I think the thickness of the lines also doesn't fit with the softer shading, it's quite heavy and bold. But overall, I do like how this character turned out. It's not one of my favourite designs I've done, and he doesn't exactly scream Portal when you look at him. But I think he has a fun concept, especially with the whole Fairytale inspiration. I also really like the striped head I gave him. It kinda gives me sweet shop or ice cream parlour vibes, but hey, that's an aesthetic I'm down for. So what do you think of this guy? What kind of story shenanigans can you picture him getting into? Maybe some of you even have name suggestions, who knows? Put them all in the comments, I'd love to see them. But without further ado, let's see what Naomi thinks of my end result.
Okay, hello! We're here. We're going to react to the prompts that I gave Mirror. If you hear rain in the background, I am very sorry. It is storming. We are in a hurricane right now. But okay, let's get to it. Fairytale reporter who totally has ADHD. Let's go. I love that concept. Okay. Oh my gosh! He's so cutesy! Oh my gosh. I love them. God, they're so cutesy. I'm like actually in love. I freaking love the way you draw faces. Like the way Mirror draws faces. I love it so much. Like there's something about it that's so satisfying for me. I just really like their style. I really like their style. They're actually so cutesy. Like, their robe kind of reminds me of not Alice in Wonderland. What is the story? A Red Riding Hood? I think that's super cute. This is really cutesy. I love it. 10 out of 10. This is honestly super good. I love it. You did a really good job, Mirror. Good job.
So there we have it. Thanks for watching this video through to the end. And special thanks to Naiomi for being a part of this collaboration. This video is actually a two-part deal, and we've got a second part when Naiomi drew the prompts that I generated. It's over on their channel, so be sure to check that out. And maybe go watch Naiomi's other videos, they're a speedpaint artist much like myself. But anyway, if you like this video and want to see more from me, you're definitely welcome to subscribe. I also have an Instagram account where I post all of my art, you'll find the link in the description. Okay, that should be it from me. Stay hopeful, don't give up on your dreams, and go watch Naiomi's part of the collab if you haven't already. I'll see you all next time.